Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the May 28th meeting of the Lakeville Conservation Commission. We are being recorded by LakeCAM. Is anyone else recording? No. All right, so as usual, we'll go around and introduce ourselves, even though we have nameplates.
John LeBlanc.
Joshua Faraday.
Nancy Yates.
Bob Bouchard.
Joseph Chamberlain.
Michelle Bouchard.
Okay. First on the agenda tonight is 310 Kenneth Welch Drive. I thought Brandon was coming, but he comes from out of town, so he might be late, so.
I'll make a motion to table this until later in the meeting.
Okay, good.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. 9 Cross Street. The applicant has, or the peer reviewer actually, has requested a continuance to June 11th at 7 p.m.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, 2 Bedford Street, same thing.
So moved.
Second.
Same
June
day?
11th at 7
7
p.m. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Pinecrest Village. All right, Pinecrest Village, they have requested a continuance to June 25th this time because the peer reviewer is reviewing the drainage. And it's pretty busy at this time of year and they haven't gotten to it yet.
I'll motion to table this, or not table it, continue it to 6/25/24 at 7 p.m.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Off Freetown Street, same. Brandon has asked, he's doing the review of the well and line. I believe the original people had 100 hours into it, so it might go even further than this, but for now, he's asking for a continuance, same thing, to the 25th of June.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, 2 Edgewater Drive. Hi, could you please step up to the microphone? Okay. I believe he sent you a letter that your order of conditions had run out and asked you to stop work and come talk to us.
Yes, that was obviously an
Could
oversight.
you please state your
I
name?
was just gonna say, identification for the
Yeah.
recording people.
Michael Matowska, 2 Edgewater Drive.
Maureen Martowska, 2 Edgewater.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was our oversight. We lost track of that between the building permits and everything else. And we did lose sight of that, but have been following those order conditions up to this point. And the bulk of the work is, the work is, to me, structurally done. The work involved putting in retaining walls, stairways, pavilion, that kind of stuff. That was all done last year as far as the cement walls. What's happening this year was, we actually had it loamed and seeded, and had grass growing, trying to protect it, even though we couldn't get the other guy, the final guy to do the finish work, which is putting the pavers for the patios, the granites for the actual steps themselves, and the stone facades. And he actually thought he was gonna do it last fall, and he started worrying about what's gonna happen over the winter. And so he ended up, even though we ordered the material and had it sitting there, he couldn't start till the freeze was over to the spring. And he's been working on it since then. And I can show you pictures, you know, I would say the stone facade is probably 95% complete. So it's, to me, the things that are really left to do is, for the most part, I call it cosmetic. For example, on the top of the walls, there's capstones. There's still more capstones to put on top of the walls. There's a small bit of stone facade to put on our foundation and one of the sitting walls. There's, and then mainly, the sub-base for all the patios are there, but the paving stones haven't been put into place yet. And then the last thing would be, unfortunately, because they use a forklift or a small machine to move the granite material around, they dug up the grass, so that has to be reseeded again. There's grass still there in spots, but it's not like it was last summer after we did have it seeded. And so, for that particular contractor alone, he figured he'd probably be done in about 3 weeks, you know, because he comes in and out, you know, with different jobs and his crew. So to get those pavers down, everything else, it'd be about 3 more weeks of work. And then obviously he would move out and we would get it reseeded. So we're asking for somehow as a way to get an extension on those auto conditions to get this project finished. And for our benefit, obviously for the property, but also to protect the lake.
Okay, I was there this afternoon. I noticed you dropped some pictures off to the office. No?
I didn't.
That wasn't you?
No.
That dropped the pictures off to the office? Okay, I'm mistaken. Somebody dropped some pictures off to the office. The payroll line,
Yeah,
when did that go in?
which one?
The new one?
Oh, that was,
April 1st.
yeah, beginning of April this year.
Okay,
We
because it
had the
looks
ones
brand
on the-
new.
Yeah,
Yeah, we had the original ones with the black silk screen on the property line on the lower side.
saw that.
On the south. There was some silt had got through there. My neighbors had complained about that to the town. I also found out about it. I cleaned that up. And I put some, those socks along, partway down the hill. And then when my contractor came in April to start working again, to play it safe, we put new ones higher up the hill. So you have really 3 layers of barrier to make sure you have that particular side. That neighbor was particularly concerned about any runoff to her property, so we want to be extra case for that. And you'll see that actually went up past my front yard, way up by the back would have on the side there, down. And they even, if you saw what's left of the loam pile in the front yard, you see some more sock there. They actually had it around the pile
I
of dirt
saw.
there, just to, when they're working on it, just to have things, once again, extra precaution. We're trying to do things the right way, but we did lose track of the dates.
Right. And it looks like there's a lot of cement, slabs are still,
Those are the pavers that go in for the.
right.
Yeah.
The
And so a
granite.
machine is gonna have to come down in there and
No,
set
that'd be
those?
too heavy for the machine that he has.
Okay.
They'll end up wheelbarrowing, or they have to take one pallet, make 4 or 5 pallets out of it, but I don't think that's gonna be done that way. That's why if you saw down by
All
the
the
lake.
pallets, there's a
You
lot
saw-
of
Yeah.
pallets down
But you saw
there.
the capstone down the hill. That's the
Yeah.
whole point. They did move that last week just for that reason. Those things are too heavy for the guy. They're heavy, they're 200+ pounds per capstone. These other pieces are a lot lighter. They'll carry those by hand or wheelbarrow them down.
And there's still, to me, that looks like there's still work to go. And, sorry to say that your order of conditions cannot be extended because it ran out
yeah.
by regulation.
Yeah, we can't extend something that's expired.
How do we get it reissued?
You reapply.
We have to do a whole zoning book, a whole submission process again here?
Well, I guess that brings up the conversation of what is actually left, right?
That's-
There's no excavation, if it really sounds like it's nothing, I mean, the only thing is restabilizing. I don't know that it makes sense going through the whole permitting process again for,
Is the work that remains the same as what was originally proposed, or is there additional work that's being done?
No, it's the same thing. If you saw that, you saw a lot, unfortunately, you saw a lot of crushed stone going down towards the water there. That's because when it came in April, remember how high the lakes were? It was very soft, so even to get the machine down there, he had to bring crushed stone up and move them over my yard, just so he wouldn't make a bigger mess. So that has to be cleaned up to help restabilize that, so that'll be cleaned up and, put a little bit more, if I have to put a little more loam down, reseed it and get it there. And as far as excavation, as far as I'm concerned, the only excavation left is if you saw the stairway, if you saw the north side of the stairway, you see like a little 6-inch deep trench type along the
Yep,
edge.
I did.
Okay, well, on the sitting wall on the south side, he would like dig by hand 6 inches down from the wall, put the stone facade on it, and then we bury that. That's the only real excavation, you wanna call it excavation. It's
What's
just,
going in that little?
no, but there's a sitting wall with no stone facade on it yet. The stone facade will go 6 inches below ground. So the ground's up.
So they have to dig a little trench in front of it, just to
Okay.
run
Yeah,
it.
Just
so
to run it,
he'll just
okay.
do, he'll take a pick and make a 4-inch
Yeah,
wide
they do
trench.
it by hand.
Just to do it by hand.
So no
just,
machine needs
No
to be
machine,
done.
no.
Yeah.
That'd be too big of a mess. And machines cost money.
Oh, yeah.
So, in one of the pictures it showed, some drainage coming off the roof drains. Do you own on the other side of that, chain link fence?
No,
Or is
that's
that
on
the
their
property
side.
line?
That's the neighbor, yeah.
All right, my thought is, I'm the only one that had eyes on it today. I have not seen your original notice of intent, which I think we'd all like to see. And I think maybe other members of the commission might need to take a look.
Okay.
So you're
So-
gonna need to refile something. So let's,
On the other side of the fence, there's some type of discharge. You know what she's talking about?
Oh, the yellow house down the hill. You're talking about the yellow house, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
all right, so looking out on the lake to the left, there's a chain link fence.
Right, that's
On
the
the
south
other
side.
side of the chain link fence is a white pipe coming out.
That's their white
Wait, the
pipe,
blue
not
pipe or the
ours,
white pipe?
right?
White,
Is
That-
that,
Our downspout, and we had the conservation approval way back. My
okay?
downspouts go underground from white pipe
Right,
down into the, through the wall to the lake. I had the okay from the conservation commission when I put that retaining wall in many, many years ago. That's the whole point. I didn't want runoff down.
but it doesn't look like it's connected to anything. Did you-
Can I see the picture?
Yes, you
Yeah,
may.
absolutely.
And that brings up the question,
watch
is
this
there a
step, please.
certificate of compliance for that work?
Oh, no, this is actually, my house is on the other side of that fence. This was their railing, this is the metal pipe. This was their railing that broke off. Matter of fact, they've had a lot of runoff right now. If you go down there to the end of the
Okay.
fence by the lake,
Yep,
you see, this is the first year they've had this problem. I'm not sure if the High Lake did it.
okay,
This really washed out. They got a big washout through here. But this was a cement railing, but they had their steps going down. That's their railing post. That had nothing to do with drainage.
to me, well, see, that picture doesn't show where that's coming from, but to me, that looked like it came out from under there.
No, it's gone. He had it in the yard. He cleaned up his yard.
Okay,
Cause my side, you can see from the silk screens on my side,
yep,
and I have my plants overgrowing right now. That's from his yard.
Isn't there a berm that separates the two properties?
No,
There's a fence.
There's a fence, but
his
it's
fence is
flat.
4 inches from the property line.
I don't think we have enough context for the pictures to be able to tell without.
no, because I
walk
looked
through.
at it, it looked like that was coming
Well,
out
the-
from that side,
But
so.
if you were there
that's-
today, you would not have seen that, cause you cleaned it up.
Well, that's my thing, I saw that picture, I was there today, and I looked at that, and that's how it looked,
That was there? Where? Where in the yard was it? 'Cause I thought he moved it out of his yard.
right like it looks in the picture.
I haven't been on, I could've sworn it was gone. I thought he cleaned it up already. But that's on the neighbors, that's on the other side
Right,
of the
but it
fence.
looks like it's coming out from underground on your side.
No, it's not. I can swear to that
Okay,
one.
well, like I say, you say no, maybe my eyes were playing tricks on me, I don't know, that's why I'm suggesting that other people that,
I'd
as
be
a
happy to
commission.
walk over there with anybody at any
Okay.
time and pick it up and show you that it's
Well, you,
equivalent to
if
this.
it's really on the neighbor's property, then you shouldn't be over there picking it up.
Right, but
So-
Okay, all right,
Um,
John?
We also want to find out if this thing has been automatically extended, don't we?
I don't think it has
Looked
been.
it up.
No, I reread the.
During COVID,
Yeah, I reread the guidance. It doesn't look like it.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I'll try to explain the guidance, but I don't think this one qualifies. I think it's basically for any order of conditions that would have expired during COVID.
during COVID.
Right, so if, let's say they had applied in, 2017, let's say they applied March, 20th of 2017, March 20th, 2017, they would have expired March 20th of 2020. And, the COVID tolling started March 10th of 2020. So they would have been entitled to an extra 10 days. But because this was approved after the tolling period started, it
See, that doesn't
apply.
make any sense to me, but.
It-
Because
Try reading
really,
the guidance.
people started having problems with supply, getting supplies and getting contractors during and after COVID.
tell us about it.
that was
Yeah.
a big
No,
problem.
I understand.
So, my suggestion would be that we continue it to the next meeting and give the, members of the Conservation Commission, if you leave your phone number, if you have a cell phone or whatever, so we can call when we're gonna come, if you wanna be there.
You're fine.
Yourself.
And we'll continue it to the next meeting, we'll have more of an idea of what you need to do to move forward.
Okay,
All right, because we want you to move forward.
yeah. So my cell, Maureen,
Hold on,
Martell.
hold on.
Don't say it on here.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, that's right, that's right.
Why don't you, call the office tomorrow and
that's a
someone
better
will
idea.
take
idea.
your
And
phone
send-
Leave your
number?
note, yeah, the secretary's back from vacation,
Okay,
so
thank you.
you can, call the conservation office and leave your number so that we can let you know when we're gonna come.
So I'm sure you understand, so I can't do absolutely nothing. I can't, even plant grass, I can't do I can't touch anything right now.
Well, I would say that you could take steps to prevent any siltation.
Right.
This, siltation barrier looks brand new,
Okay.
so I don't think anything's going to be moving down that hill.
No, but it's
Well,
not, I mean, to me, my standpoint, if I can get grass growing in more spots before that siltsort comes out, I'm better off. I don't want to break any rules, at least intentionally, I wouldn't break any rules. But if I were to do something like plant grass in a spot, get some more grass growing, because obviously what happens is, I had this problem last time when we got it all seeded. Unfortunately, that was done in the summertime, and it was hard to keep it water. You get the well, and the well would tend to dry up a bit, start putting up mud to it. I had to put it on, off. You couldn't keep a big area wet. So I like to maybe possibly get some grass growing between now and then, but that means doing something.
How are you
I don't want to
seeding?
cause trouble.
How are you seeding?
Huh?
How are you going to be seeding?
Loose lawn with some grass seed and keep it watered and get it.
Hand cast, just hand cast.
Hand cast.
Yeah, I wouldn't see an issue with that.
I don't.
Well,
And there's siltation barriers up right now.
Yes.
I wouldn't see a problem with that. I think that's actually a benefit, to be honest.
Sure. Yeah, if there's no additional impact,
Yeah,
it's only a betterment.
yeah.
Every next step is a betterment.
Right.
I understand the conundrum I'm in right now.
So June 11th is the next meeting.
Okay. So
2 weeks.
I'll tell my contract I can't, absolutely nothing before then.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
So I'll make a motion to continue with, 2 Edgewater Drive till June 11th.
Second.
Do we want to work anything in there about preventative work or seeding or?
Do you still have your original order of conditions that might say that it needs to be a
Stabilized
native blend?
or
Or-
stabilized?
It didn't say, I know, I remember reading it. It didn't say anything in particular,
Okay,
but I can check, look that up and double check.
because it is a natural heritage boundary also.
I mean, I'm sure if we told them use native grasses that you throw down when you seed between now and then, I think
Yeah.
you would be amenable to that.
Will you not, well, I don't want to change my water conditions, because if I want to buy sod and it's not native blend, I'd be, if I'm not required to, I don't want to tie my hands either, so. What do you mean by native blend? What do you go to the store, what do you just say, how do you know it's a native blend?
There's a New England mixture.
You call it New England mixture?
Yeah,
Okay.
but
Yeah, you can't just go in the Agway and get it. though.
Right. now, if the ultimate end here is to put sod on everything,
That may be a possibility, because it is still a hill, you know,
Wow.
so that, I hate to spend extra money, but at the same time, it's a faster way to do it, and I'm contemplating that possibility, you know, because of the house I went through last summer trying to do it.
okay. Because even once the sod is there, to keep it alive is tough, because of limited
Yeah,
water
once it
supply.
goes down, yeah.
And if you're talking about sodding, then that would be removing the top layer probably.
Yep.
Putting some type of loam down and then, you roll out the sod after, right?
Yep.
Well, I think that has a,
That's worse. From your
well,
standpoint, that's worse.
it has the ability to erode, right?
All right,
If you're
Yeah, I think-
exposing bare soils,
then I'll stick with throwing the seed down.
Because it will be growing in 10 days typically,
Yeah,
get the little green whiskers.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 thank you.
That's
Thank
June-
you.
June 7th, June 11th at 7 PM. do this in the right order this time. 26 Fuller Shores Road. I think I did it backwards last time.
The ancient and honorable Mr. Sheriff. Good to see you again.
All right.
Sorry.
I spoke too soon last time. I was gonna let you tell me when to talk.
Go for it.
Okay. Rick Sharon from Sharon Associates here on behalf of, Mr. and Mrs. Melvin at 26 Fuller Shores Road. As we said last time, we're replacing the existing cesspool and overflow tank, with a 2,000 gallon monolithic, tight tank, H20 rated. It's up in the front of the house. We made a slight change in the plan. I'm gonna leave you a couple of copies of it. Mr. Melvin called me today and said that they would put parking all the way across the front of it, all gravel parking. If you recall, the neighbor was here 2 weeks ago, and he was concerned about people coming and visiting, and Fuller Shores Road isn't that wide to begin with. So basically it'll be a full parking area across the front.
Just gravel.
Yes, just gravel, yep. And also move the silt trap on this, and we put it over into this corner and added some more silt sock over in here, because it really was very difficult to put anything in this area with the excavator trying to do his work, put his stockpiles in place, get the hole opened up and get the truck in there, put the tank in place. So that's been moved over to this corner with the additional silt sock. We also weren't able to conclude last time because we're waiting for natural heritage.
Which we have.
And you've got theirs, and no adverse impact. Typically, something like this, that's what we'd expect. Everything's being done in developed areas. There's no area being cleared, no natural vegetation being cleared out. So we have that. We also had met, the night after your last meeting, we met with the Board of Health, and they approved the tight tank. All right, so we have a tight tank approval from them, unanimous vote from them, and just basically want to seal us up with a notice of intent. We should do with an order of conditions.
Can I park a car perpendicular to the road, facing in and out, or is it just wide enough to, pull off the side? I don't know what the scale is from here.
Yeah, this is
I guess how deep is the new parking area?
it's about 16 or 18 feet long.
So you could,
Small car.
yeah,
Yeah, you can pull in
You can pull straight
perpendicular with
in.
a smaller car.
straight into the
A
house.
bigger vehicle, you'd have to put on an angle.
Okay, so I guess I'm looking for a motion to close the hearing and issue an order of conditions. I would say with an additional condition besides all of our general Lakeville Comcom conditions, that all gravel parking.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. I
Yeah.
think we should just take a vote to accept the new plans.
Oh,
Because these
that
weren't
also,
well
okay.
submitted.
All right, so scratch that for a minute.
I'll make a motion to accept the new plan of site and repair of subsurface sewage disposal for John B. Melvin Jr. at 26 Fuller Shores Road, dated, or revised May 28th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, I will remake my motion to close the hearing, issue an order of conditions with all our standard conditions, and with an additional condition of all gravel parking for 26 Fuller Shore Road, SE 192-920.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye. Excellent.
All right, there's one down.
One down.
All right, next, 24 Fuller Shore Road. Go for it.
Once again, Rick Sharon from Sharon Associates.
Okay, first thing, let's do it first thing this time, Josh, about the plan.
Do you have a new plan for this?
Do you have a revised plan?
We do not have a
Okay.
change.
Oh,
No
okay.
changes on this one.
No changes on this one, okay.
All right, so basically, same thing we gone over last time. a new driveway, gravel driveway off to the side, and it also provides an access into the backyard. The tight tank is, again, replacing a cesspool with an overflow tank, and we've got our silt trap over in the back here with the silt fence behind it. And that one, we didn't change anything, that was in a good position to get the excavation done. Again, we're waiting for natural heritage on this one. We received the same letter, no adverse impact for this project. And we also had approval from the Board of Health 2 weeks ago for the tight tank approval. So I feel this one here is ready to go.
Anybody?
Did you give us a revised notice of intent to include the gravel driveway? I know it was something that we saw on the plan, but it wasn't actually in the notice.
I'm not sure, I know we didn't turn any
Okay.
revision in.
So maybe
We'll
we
add
just
that again.
put it in the conditions,
Okay.
yeah?
All right, so we need a motion to close the hearing and issue our standard order of conditions with an additional condition of all gravel parking driveway for 24 Fuller Shores Road, SE 192-919.
So moved.
Second.
No discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, Rick.
Okay, thank you all. Have a good night.
All right.
I'm glad I got a lot of room up here.
Because you're the boss.
Well, because I'm not that organized today. 17 Twin Oaks Road. This was continued from our last meeting. And, John went out and did a site visit today. We have the property owner here, you come up to the microphone and.
You're right.
Sure.
At least I can answer your questions tonight.
Okay,
Now, remember, I
Name?
watched the last meeting, sorry, I
Oops.
couldn't.
identify
Oh,
yourself,
I'm
please.
Tom Sirignano, 17 Twin Oaks Road.
Okay, how about like, we'll discuss it first, John did the site visit?
Yep. So it's an existing revetment and it's pretty much washed away. There's a lot of damage. He wants to rebuild it in the exact same position that it's in. He did request information from a board member and was given the information that it could be done under an RDA. So my suggestion would be, no, obviously with limits like no equipment in the water and all that stuff, but I would suggest that in this situation, we issue an RDA for this, since that's historically been what we have done for rebuilding of revetments. And then per Josh's questions at the last meeting, we put it on the agenda for next meeting to discuss if we're gonna change our procedures. That would be my suggestion.
Yes, because that's been our policy and, I would be more than happy to put it on the next agenda. If we're gonna make a policy change, it's probably something that we should discuss and get it down pack of what would be one way and what would constitute, a filing of an NOI if it was more extensive work. I think we've always in the past looked at everything individually and not really have hardcore rules about how it was gonna be, and we look at each project.
Yeah, I've always been in favor of flexibility because the rules don't always apply. You miss something, whereas this is an opportunity to level the playing
Well,
wheel.
I think in a situation where he's rebuilding an existing,
Exactly.
not going anywhere out of the footprint. There's not gonna be any excavation near the wall. I mean, common sense wise, I think it should be allowed to be done under an IDA, but I understand the literal letter of the
Right.
Wetlands Act is an NOI for something like this.
And I also think coming up, because of all the damage that we've had over this last storm season, that we
We're
need
gonna be
to,
busy with this.
that we need to discuss it and how we're gonna handle going forward, because I think we're gonna be seeing a lot coming from the Long Pond people, especially. I've already looked at 3 different properties that are a mess, like way worse than what Tom's looks like.
And it may be the English teacher, Jean and me, but we have to discuss what's being done. Is it a rebuilding? Is it maintenance? You know, there are levels that you throw a few rocks back on the top, no problem. Start ripping out the base of something. Now, are we repairing, rebuilding, renovating? I mean, all those words, again, it's the English teacher, Jean and me, that speaks out here.
Well, and
How
I
you
think,
define what's being done.
yeah, I think it needs to be addressed, but not at this,
Right, well,
Me.
exactly. We wanna go by past policy.
yeah.
Yeah, my fear is if I don't get something done and we have
It'll
a big
get worse.
storm, I'm gonna lose my porch. And then I'll be back here with some other problems, you know. And I just want to address one thing that was brought up, Josh, at the last meeting. You were right, you know, about doing the same thing over again will only, you know, only exasperate it if we have more storms like we had this year. So everybody that I talked to, contractor-wise, suggested larger stones at the bottom. And so I just wanted to let you know that it's not gonna be the same. It's gonna be stronger. The small rocks will go behind the big ones.
But in the
we'll
same-
stay in the same
Same
line.
footprint,
Yeah.
right.
And we're seeing on the state level, towns and individual homeowner groups spending literally in the millions of dollars to bring in sand, and the next storm,
And it's all gone.
it's gone. And no one writes about, where did it go? It didn't disappear. All that 300,000 tons of sand they want to put in, I forget what town, it washes away. It's someplace. It's in front of somebody else's
Hey,
house, you know?
I can tell you on Assawamsa Pond, it goes down the river, that's why the mess
Yeah.
gets not
Yeah,
flowing.
exactly.
The other
Anyway.
problem is getting somebody that's willing to do the job. I
Yeah.
mean, because when you tell them they can't use equipment, they're gonna muscle things into place. And we've been waiting for the lake to go down. Now it's down far enough so they can do something. If we start having more,
There are companies that use non-petroleum-based lubricants.
well, we're not gonna drive anything into the lake, nothing. I already told everybody that looked at it, I don't want any machinery touching the lake. And it's costing me more money to have them use crowbars to put
Oh.
things in place, you know,
Yeah.
but at least it's gonna stay clean. I mean, it is a reservoir, I wanna keep it clean, so.
So I think one of the things we didn't benefit from the last meeting was you giving an explanation of exactly what the project is and how it's gonna be accomplished, so.
Right. Yeah, I
Would you
wasn't
mind doing
here.
that now?
I was recovering from something. Well, yeah, I was just reading about the explanation that I put on the original, plan that I had submitted and got brought over to the EPA. And I wasn't specific, it just says, you know, replace rocks, you know, at the bottom, but it's not the same rocks. The guy's gonna bring in some bigger rocks, and we're gonna just put them down over the edge and then, so that'll prevent it from, it's sort of like what some of my neighbors have done. You know, they've done the same thing over the years, so. And theirs held up, but we had a tremendous amount of storms this year, it was awful. And they weren't like 24 hours, they were like 48 hours of big waves crashing from the north.
You've seen the predictions for this coming hurricane season?
I don't want to lose my house.
Yeah. It's
You know.
twice what we had last year. So
Right, and I think I should be able to fix it, you know, so.
Okay,
I'm fine with it.
so does somebody wanna make a motion?
I'll make a motion. An IDA is,
It would be a
Negative
negative
determination.
determination, yeah.
-3,
-3 allows you to condition it.
yeah, which we wanna do, so I'll, make a motion to issue a -3 determination on 17 Twin Oaks Road, with the stipulation that no equipment, can go in the water. Anybody else?
That's good.
And you guys are welcome to come over anytime you want and check it out.
And they don't expand the footprint of the existing, the
Right,
pre-existing.
and it stay within the footprint of the existing revetment.
At least you have the before pictures to see what it was like, you know, so.
Okay. Is there a second? Did I hear a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
I would like to take a roll call vote.
Okay.
Aye.
I'm gonna vote no.
I'm gonna recuse myself.
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes.
Thank you, folks. I'll feel a lot better. I'll sleep better now if I can get that fixed.
Okay, next
One more
up.
question, you're gonna drop something with you pick up a paper or something that I have to have?
She will put the, we'll probably sign it tonight if it's in the folder, and it will get mailed to you.
All right, thanks.
Okay. 37 Myrick Street, I need a motion to open the hearing.
So moved.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, according to the provisions of Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40 of the Wetlands Protection Act, there will be a hearing on a notice of intent submitted by JIJ Properties Incorporated for tree clearing and grading within 100 feet of a bordering vegetated wetland. The location of the project is 37 Myrick Street, Lakeville, map 5, block 2, lot 1, and map 17, block 4, lot 3-1. Public hearing will be held on Tuesday, May 28, 2024 at 7 p.m. at the Lakeville Police Station, 323 Bedford Street, Lakeville.
I get all the printouts here, so.
I don't want 'em.
Which Myrick's is this one?
37.
Just check it.
Good evening. For the record, now Zaga from Zenith Consulting Engineers. We're before you for the construction of a single-family home. So this roadway that you're seeing to the northeast of this property here, this Narrows Lane, this came in front of the commission last year for the construction of 3. It was for construction of 4 lots total. This lot as well as 3 other lots. The only work within that was just a portion of the roadway and the drainage basin. The other 3 lots were outside of the 100-foot buffer significantly. This lot, however, which has frontage along Myrick Street and Narrows Lane, does require it coming in front of the commission. So the line that you see before you was the same line that was on the original subdivision plan and was approved on the original order of conditions. So the work that we're proposing is the construction of this home with the associated septic system. It is on town water. Driveway comes in here, significant amount of grading over here, and tree clearing located, which would be kind of to the south of Myrick Street. We are proposing an erosion control barrier along the whole limit of work, down gradient here. All the work that will be done will be, once completed, will be stabilized with loam and seed. Basically, the reason why you see the amount of work that you do is because the soils were difficult. It was a tight soil. It passed Title V. This plan has actually been approved by the Board of Health. I should have just made that clear as well. It has been approved by the Board of Health, but the soils are tight, so that dictates the size of the septic system and the height of the septic system. So that's why you're seeing, what you're seeing here. The good news is we were basically able to stay outside of the 50-foot buffer. There's a small portion of work right here, by less than 100 square feet. But other than that, still maintaining a decent backyard and being able to do all the work that's necessary, we're able to basically stay 50 feet away, which is always a plus in these situations. So a lot of the stormwater was evaluated when we did the analysis on the original subdivision plan. Most of this, so we analyzed the watershed from here, up gradient and all through all those new lots that are being created. And there's a drain, like I said, there's a drainage basin there, so there's no increase in flow pre versus post. This was reviewed by the planning board and approved by the planning board and reviewed by their consultant. So that this was part of that subdivision. I just wanted to make that kind of clear. But other than that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that the commission has.
Looks like just grading,
That's
really,
correct.
within the 100-foot.
That's correct. Yeah, it's really just grading. It's just grading and clearing within the 100-foot buffer. That's correct. The house is outside of it. Septic is out of it. Everything's out of it, just the clearing and grading. Basically, as you can see, the grade just drops off from and if you go out there from Myrick Street, it drops off to the wetland pretty, just kind of gradually the whole way. So to be able to make all the, everything work. The other thing we're doing is we're actually doing a pump system on this for the septic system, just to be able to kind of keep those grades down as much as we can. The septic is what it is, but the house, we were able to kind of drop down a little bit by doing the pump system.
This is a raised system.
This is a significantly raised system. Yeah, unfortunately, you've got tight soils, high water table. There's just a lot going on there. But amazingly, we were able to keep it all, even the reserve area outside the 100-foot buffer, which is pretty good considering.
Niles, how many trees are we talking about?
It's a significant amount.
really thick.
It's mainly all pine,
Yeah.
from what I remember, but it's a significant amount. There's some dead, there's definitely some dead and some knocked over when you go in there. This roadway's just about, actually, I think they're looking to pave tomorrow, actually. So a lot of this work's already done. That road's graded and all utilities are in. So it's been kind of a work zone in here. But yeah, I would say there's a significant amount of trees.
You said there's very tight soils there.
Yes.
What kind of perk rate are we looking at?
It was like 50,
Oh, okay, stop right there.
54 minutes in it.
Yeah.
The maximum is 60. That's again, it meets the town and state code, but it's tight.
Yeah.
And that's what dictates the size of that system,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
It was what, 774 square feet or something, I think I saw.
Yeah, depending on the amount of bedrooms and,
Yeah.
The loading rate. So when you have a less than 2, like a sand, your loading rate's 0.74 square feet per gallons per day. With this, it's 0.15. So it's literally like 5 times the amount, the size. Significant.
Is the traffic any better now that the trees are gone? I know you were having issues with traffic before.
I'm not aware of that. Are you talking about on Myrick Street itself?
Myrick Street, yeah.
Yeah, pulling out, there were a lot of trees there, line of sight.
Oh, yeah, this is definitely gonna help for sure, 100%, yeah.
Yeah, will they be able to see beyond that?
So, we got these plans in time, May 20th, but it says revised, are these revised per the Board of Health?
Yeah, we're going to ask that because they were stamped revised.
Question.
Mine says May 20th.
I think you did get the plan, right? Yes, I did. So we had a variance request on for the Board of Health. They have a requirement of 2 foot above water table with the basement.
Yeah.
And we were at like 1.5. I didn't realize it, so I ended up just raising it up another 0.5 foot
Right.
and making it work, so we didn't have to, because I didn't want to have to ask for variance.
Okay.
because I don't think they would have given it to us.
Right, so this revision is for the Board of Health.
That's correct. There's
And
no,
we
there's no,
received it in plenty of time.
there's no change to the plan as far as grading or anything like that.
It's
Okay.
just changing the elevation of the basement.
Of the basement, that's it, the basement top of foundation, that was it.
Okay. Anybody have any comments? Any other comments? I'm looking for a motion to approve, close the hearing and issue an order of conditions for 37 Myrick Street, SE 192 921 Niles. It came today, I think.
Yes.
With our standard order of conditions.
So
What was that?
moved.
What was that number?
SE 192 921.
921.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Niles.
Thanks, Niles.
Okay, 3 Myrick Street. I need a motion to open the hearing.
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 131, the Wetlands Protection Act, the Lakeville Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on May 28, 2024 at 7 p.m. at the Lakeville Police Station, 323 Bedford Street, on an RDA. The applicant, Stephen Howe, is proposing site grading associated with the upgrade of a residential septic system. The project is located at 3 Myrick Street and is also identified on Assessor's Map 18, Block 1, Lot 29. That's it.
Good evening, everyone.
Hello.
My name's Dave Clenner from Collins Civil Engineering Group. And I'm here on behalf of Steve Howe, who's to my right. He is the applicant for 3 Myrick Street. This is a septic repair. And this is a request for determination, an RDA. What we have is a septic system. Well, what we have is we have wetlands to the east and we have wetlands to the south. They were delineated by Brook Monroe. We have the 100-foot buffer in the purple line, and we have the 50-foot buffer in the orange lines. All work will be outside the 50. We're infringing on the 100 by a little bit around the tank. It's going to be a tank into a pump chamber. So a little bit around the tank and a little grading around the septic system. Just the grading, the system itself will be outside the 100. We have wells to contend with. We have a well on the east side, we have a well on the north side, and then we have a well on the west side. We meet all of the Board of Health requirements for the separation of the system to the well. The Board of Health has approved this project already. What's going to happen is there's a 3-bedroom house there, and the client would like to make it a 5-bedroom, so we had to fall under the new regulations for Board of Health requirements, which we have. We didn't want to move we're 12 feet off the street with a septic system, and there are some nice trees. They're not pines, I think they're oak trees, small oak trees that line the street here, and we're hoping to save all those trees by the position that it's in. I don't want to move the system any further west because we have an overhead wire here. I would have to move it 30 feet to get it out of the 100, which would be very close to the house. This system is going to be mounted, it's going to be about 3 feet high. So we are proposing a straw wattle, and it's kind of hard to see, but it's the light orange line. It starts at the northeast corner of the property, and it cuts around the limit of work, and it cuts around into the 100-foot a little bit, around the septic tank, and out to the planter, which is kind of a wall, which would be a barrier for anything going through there. So the only work inside the 100 would be a little bit of grading. We're 87 feet roughly from the wetlands with our straw wattle. A little bit of grading for the septic system and a little bit of grading around the septic tank. Kurt, I think that's about it. I can answer any questions you have. Hopefully.
Your perk rate was 5 minutes.
5 minutes per inch, yeah. And that's actually a decent perk rate for a septic system. It's right where you want to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not too fast.
Not too fast and not too
fast.
slow.
Yeah.
We got the good area of marriage.
Sounds like it.
I thought this was pretty funny because George called me and I had to laugh because I even questioned whether this is a bordering vegetation wetland right here at all.
Yeah, Brooke is pretty conservative when it comes to that sort of thing. I think she'd rather see it as something as it's not. It's.
I lived in this house right here.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
And this was a turf farm, and this was just like the lowest area of the property where water kind of ponded.
Yeah.
So maybe some wetland vegetation has grown in there, but by no means would I really ever thought of it as a wetland because the rest of it's all bone dry. And even the well, you got 212 to the well. That house has town water.
Yeah, George had said something about that to me. There's still a well there, so we still have to
Right.
follow the Board of Health regulations.
Right.
But he did tell me that he found out that it was on town water.
Anyway, like I say, I have no problem with this. Anybody have any,
Barely in the.
and I don't have to recuse myself because I don't live there anymore. Hi.
Hi.
Are you the property owner?
Yes, I am. I'm Steve Howe.
Okay.
So you lived in the White House with the red roof?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Big house. Around that property out back.
Yep.
Yep.
Anyway, okay, so it's an RDA, so do we have any conditions we wanna have the siltation barrier checked maybe?
Yeah, just notify when.
Okay, so, I need a motion for a -3 determination with, condition that the agent be called to check the siltation barrier.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Back by popular demand.
Yeah.
All right, so that's out. All right, 13 Brookstone. I need a motion to open the hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. According to the provisions of Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40 of the Wetlands Protection Act, there will be a hearing on a notice of intent submitted by Thomas Long for construction of an in-ground swimming pool with associated patio and grading within 100 feet of the bordering vegetated wetland. The location of the project is 13 Brookstone Drive, Lakeville, map 13, block 1, lot 14. Public hearing will be held on Tuesday, May 28th, 2024 at 7 PM at the Lakeville Police Station, 323 Bedford Street, Lakeville.
Good evening.
Niles, hello.
That's me again. Good evening for the record, Niles Zager from Zenith. So we're here before you for the proposal of an in-ground swimming pool. So the existing home is located here. This is Brookstone Drive here, home here. We have BBW located to the south of the property. There's actually a drainage culvert that discharges it. I believe what happened was there was probably a stream at one point, and when they built Brookstone, it kind of converted into a wetland because they dammed it off and, you know, put a culvert in. So because there is an intermittent stream that runs along would be the east side of Brookstone. Freetown Street runs across a head wall over here, and then it discharges out to my client's property, which is where you see that drainage easement block. And I think that's what's creating this BVW that you're seeing on the plan. It's definitely a very wet area. soils. Dug a hole out here, not for the purposes of the septic system this time. It was just to kind of see where my water table was, what we were looking at, so the contractor could get an idea of what he was gonna be dealing with for the pool. That's why you see, one of the main reasons why you see the pool up as high as you do. It kind of blends in with the grade that's there currently, the patio that's in the back here. And we're just kind of keeping it up because you really don't want a swimming pool in the water table as much as you can. They will most likely probably daylight something from here out to the tree line this way, just in case there is any water table. That way it doesn't have any heat freezing or heaving or anything like that. The good news is that all this work is being done within existing landscape lawn area. I was able to keep all the work again outside of 50 foot. The only work within the 50 foot is about half the pool, and the majority of it is the grading, because we had the grade drops off from the back of the house out to the back of the property, and being able to raising this pool up to get the grade to work and get the patio to fit in there. We had to basically grade that out. All that work will be stabilized, loam and seeded. During construction, we do have because we're fairly certain they're going to need it, dewatering basin, which I've shown would be the west side of the site, of the pool area here, which is the down gradient side. And I provided the detail here. Silt sock is going to wrap the total limit of work. Their access getting in, the reason why I'm extending it this way is because their access getting in, there's really no way to get in through here because the septic system that's over here. So we have to kind of, if you go out there, it kind of suits itself and lends itself, even though it is closer to the resource area. It really does suit itself to come through here and come out. So there is some work within that area, but it's just going to be for access purposes. That'll obviously all be loam and seeded once all the work is done. We are also showing a stockpile area because they're going to be removing material. The fill that was there was, from what I saw, wasn't the best. There was a lot of, just debris, like as far as stumps and sticks and whatever the contractor probably just had
That's
at the
temporary,
time.
right?
What was that?
Temporary
stockpile area, yes. It's just, what I'm doing is I'm trying to show that it should stay outside the 100-foot buffer if possible. They always try to do that if we can. That's really about it. Luckily, we were able to, again, get it. That's the other thing. The only reason why we didn't get it any further north is because of the well. The well is right here, the existing well. Otherwise, I would have probably been able to keep almost all of us outside the buffer, but that's really what's dictating me to where I'm at. That, and it does suit itself and lend itself to the property, putting it where it is. It lines up with that back patio and their stairs and everything.
So you're just gonna grade that back behind the pool?
That's correct.
Back
It's going to
in?
be the patio. There'll be a little shoulder, like a 4-foot shoulder,
Yeah.
and then it's just going to drop off.
No
3 to 1
retaining wall,
slopes.
nothing?
No retaining wall. No, I mean, again, if things started to get real tight, then maybe, but we always try to avoid retaining walls if we can. For cost and just failure and what have you, I just would rather not if we don't have to.
Now, so you show me again how you're gonna access it?
Yes. So the driveway, it comes down here, and this is actually kind of like a gravel area here. We're not really showing it, but there's a gravel area right
Okay.
here.
All
There's
right.
a fence. There's
All
a
right.
actually.
So you're
right
actually
there.
coming up the driveway and going around, not coming up the side of, okay.
Yes, yeah, so they're gonna go up the driveway, they'll come along the side here where the fence is, there's a gate, they'll come through, that's how we came in when we dug our preliminary hole out here, and
Okay.
it was pretty easy to get in and out.
Now, the base of the pool will be out of the water table, you said, right?
That's
So you
correct,
don't have any hydrostatic
that's correct,
pressure problems.
that's correct.
How about, I don't have a pool, but I know there's cleaning procedures and filters involved and so forth. How is this?
I put a note on there, it's actually a great question, because that always comes up about the backwash, it's a cartridge filter.
Backwashing, now they use the cartridge?
They're gonna use a cartridge, so there will be no backwashing.
Yep.
That's actually kind of the standard a lot now,
Yep.
for these types of systems. I always ask whoever the pool guy is that's gonna be doing it, I always talk to them about that, because it's obviously a concern if there's gonna be a backwash. But this is gonna be a cartridge system. So I would recommend it, again, it's on the plan, I noted it on the plan, but I would probably recommend to the commission that you make that a condition of the approval as well. Because that's always a concern.
And every time someone comes in for a pool, we always have to ask the question, where's the cabana gonna be?
I'm sorry?
Where's the cabana gonna be?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I mean, if they got plans, now's the time to do it.
Yeah, yeah. So
So
they,
they get themselves like painted into a corner if you don't think, oh, later, oh, we could have a cabana, yeah.
yeah, so there's a chance that they might at some point, but right now, this is like, they have a young child that is looking to do something on behalf of that kid. They have, their back patio is actually really nice, got one of those big brick oven pizza things, and it's pretty extensive, it's pretty cool. So I don't think that they need it right now, but could it happen? Yes, and then they'll be coming to see me. And you'll say, I told you so.
Well, it looks like they have a canopy.
Yeah, canopy, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Fences around the pool now.
So this fence actually, basically almost the whole yard, there's fence all around here, actually there is the whole yard, so it runs from here, all around and over.
Okay,
So yeah, so they don't need to actually fence it, they may anyway, but
yeah,
I
got it.
see it, I see it.
yeah.
Okay, so I guess I'm gonna look for a motion to close the hearing and issue our standard order of conditions with an additional condition, no pool water will be discharged into the wetland. And for 13 Brookside Drive, SE 192, 922.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very
Thanks.
much. Is that good enough?
You too.
Thank you.
Right. Okay, for Montgomery. I got a call from the lawyer, oh dear. Find a picture. Is there anybody have a picture? Oh, here we go. 4 Montgomery Street. I don't know if it's in your packet or not, but I took 2 pictures when I went to look at it. It's not wonderfully grown in, but I don't think anything's gonna,
Let me guess, the lawyer said they have a closing
Right.
on Friday. and-
Yes.
It's always Friday at 9.
yeah,
Yeah, and it gets a hold of you on Tuesday.
Mhm.
yeah. So, the grass is pretty sad looking, but I don't think anything's gonna erode.
What was it, just a septic?
Septic repair?
Yeah,
Oh, when was it done?
I have no idea.
I mean, if you can't grow grass with all this rain, I don't know.
Yeah, the dirt looks pretty, like, sandy, I guess. I don't know. Anyway,
I'll make a motion to issue a certificate of compliance for 4 Montgomery Street, SE 192728.
Second?
all in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, wetland bylaw. Josh sent out this, which we didn't get last time. And I have to be honest and say that when you first sent it, I really went through it and looked at it.
Mm-hmm.
But since then, I really have not, with Bob being out and with Lori being out this last week, I've been a little overwhelmed
Yeah, that's fine.
on top of, like, my real life.
Oh, you got the life?
So I would like to put this to the next meeting to have everybody really take a good look at it. I did have, some response from other people about another wetland bylaw from another town that I don't have right now, but, it called out the things you can do.
Oh, positive stuff.
It's a new approach.
Well, I don't think you, interesting.
I mean, I will have it copied. I forget what town it was, but I'll have it copied and attached to the next one.
I don't know what you would
This
be.
is- Hard the way she printed it out too,
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
all right.
so if
It
you wanna
wouldn't be
speak
that
to
hard
it.
for me to give like a, I don't know, 10,000 foot overview of what this is.
Okay,
and
go ahead.
I don't know if continuing it to the next meeting. I'll give you the overview.
Okay.
We can go through it page by page.
All right,
You should all have the track change version of the model bylaw that MACC puts out. I mean, if we go through it real quickly, you can see that I deleted the word ordinance to begin with. Ordinances are something that's created in cities, not towns. We don't work on an ordinance system. So that's why you see that. Moving down, it's, including the word Lakeville. Where you really start to get into the good parts of the bylaw, I'll say, is when you start to talk about jurisdiction. So jurisdiction is any increase of our jurisdiction over the Wetlands Protection Act, or defining, like here we did, whether it's perennial or intermittent. It's where you're defining something more defined than what is already defined in the Wetlands Protection Act. So, for instance, under jurisdiction, you can see that I added the whole 25-foot no disturb zone. It's definitely something we can talk about, but I imagine that being for new construction. So, anyone who already has, lawned area or something behind their house, and maybe they live on the pond, that really wouldn't fall into that part of the bylaw. So what you really have is, this is the skeletal structure of what the Lakeville bylaw would look like. You talk about application fees, you talk about,
oh, can we go back for exemption and exemptions? I think that's kind of what they were looking for in the other bylaw.
okay,
So, like normal maintenance,
yeah,
maintaining, repairing, or replacing, not substantially, blah, blah, blah. So that's the only part that I'd like to cross-reference with this other bylaw that they had sent me.
So if you would agree that we already allow those type of exemptions just in our normal Discord, then I think that all gets covered under the last sentence there of anything other than what's in this bylaw is the exemption provided in the Wetlands Protection Act. So the bylaw really increases what we're trying to protect. So if we don't see an issue with it, then it would just fall under the Wetlands Protection Act anyway.
Okay.
So I don't think we need to.
So what does this do in addition to the wetland bylaw, the wetland?
So wetlands, okay,
I
specifically.
know the 25-foot
Yeah,
buffer.
so that would be one. Let's say as a commission, we really felt that a buffer zone of 150 feet off a wetland is more substantial to protecting the resource area.
Yeah.
That is something you would put in the
Oh,
bylaw.
but that's not in this one.
No. If you were going to, so jurisdiction is a big one. That should always be covered in your bylaw.
Yeah.
Another thing is the notice and hearings. If we wanted to say every RDA required a butter notification and it needed to be advertised twice in the newspaper instead of once.
Yep.
That is something that would be covered under the bylaw because it's not specifically called out in the Wetlands Protection Act.
Okay.
So moving on to the page 3 now, I left this one highlighted in blue because I know that we look for like the Board of Health approval on septics. So, coordination with other boards is something we could say, we really want to hear from the Board of Health before we make a determination, or we really feel that a comment from the building commissioner is important before we make a determination. That's where that would be covered under, coordination with other boards. And I know Nate had expressed something about his inability to deny building permits based on, our decisions.
So his solution to that, though, was for us to pass the Wetlands Act as a bylaw. He said that would enable him to enforce.
Right. Right. So it does help the building commissioner on some of the issues that he's receiving right now. Because I think as a building commissioner, there's like, it's a limited number, like 7 different things that they can deny a building permit on. And none of them go in line with the Wetlands Protection Act or what we're trying to accomplish.
Let me backtrack a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
John asked the question, or the statement, that Nate wanted what?
He wanted, so his suggestion for giving him more authority in the permit process for a building permit was for us to pass the,
Take the state law.
well, yeah, take the state law as a bylaw.
Is that commonly done?
I mean, we are, so for example, we are gonna basically say that we make all of our decisions under the Wetlands Protection Act and our Lakeville, wetlands bylaw.
Which is,
So I guess to move back even further, we'll get an application for a notice of intent. We will then, hear the application, we'll make a decision. Right now, we make it off of the Wetlands Protection Act. Now we'll be making 2 separate decisions. One will be under the Wetlands Protection Act, one will be under our bylaw.
what if the wording is the same of these two?
So really it gets really deep into the appeals process. So let's say, for example, we were to deny a project. Now an applicant has to appeal to Mass DEP under the wetlands protection part of it, and then they have to appeal to the Superior Court under our determination of the project. We could, for example, let's say someone was proposing work in a 25-foot no activity zone. We deny the project based off of that. And they're going to appeal to Mass DEP, and Mass DEP is going to say, well, we look at the Wetlands Protection Act, we don't see a violation here because we allow work within the 25-foot no activity zone, or the non-existing 25. So then they go in front of a judge, and the judge reads, okay, they're denying the project based off of the bylaw that was approved by the Attorney General. And so they really have to fight 2 decisions based off the commission.
Could you make it more stringent?
It always has to be more
More
stringent.
stringent.
We cannot make it, we can't in our bylaws say that, yeah, we don't care about the Wetlands Protection Act, we
Yeah.
don't want to see any
Can't
permits.
make it easier, right?
Right, we can only make it, I'll say harder, but more protective.
Yeah, so,
And the argument has always been the same. We have so much more to protect here in Lakeville than a lot
all
of
the more
other
reason, right.
towns and cities across the state. And a lot of towns in Western Mass have passed a wetland bylaw, but a lot of towns that pass a wetland bylaw, really, everybody votes for it because it doesn't affect them.
Yeah.
That's why we've had a hard time here, but I think it's just like with Community Preservation Act. The times that we've put it on before, it just, people weren't ready for it, I think.
Yeah.
But I think we've come to a juncture with our town and the building and everything that's going on that, people are realizing, and maybe will be
Yeah.
more apt to vote for a wetland bylaw to help protect what we have. There seems to be a louder calling for it at the time.
So, and then the bylaw, a lot of this just mirrors the Wetlands Protection Act. We're not going to issue any new permits. We're not going to create our own permit, I don't think. But if you wanted to, we could create a permit that says, we really don't see clearing within the 75 to 100 foot buffer as something that the commission should be weighed down with. And we give our agent the ability to make those determinations on his own.
Yeah, I don't think, changed my mind.
Never mind.
Overruled yourself?
Yeah.
Right, so that is something we could do, but, okay, so then, I don't know what page I'm on now, 4 or 5 maybe.
The pages aren't here. I think next time we print this out, I'd like it to be a lot bigger.
Yeah, yeah, that's what happens when you
And
leave
it's hard with the blue.
the
Makes
track
it-
changes
right.
on. All right, so regulations. So regulations are a way to kind of guide an applicant towards decisions that we may make at a meeting. So like, if the commission, for example, if we as a commission decided that every septic repair within the 0 to 50-foot buffer requires a notice of intent, that is something we could put in the regulations. And then an applicant would see that and say, okay, well, now I don't have to go in front of the commission and wonder. That's what they're looking for. So that's what you really put in your regulations. Definitions are just that. You want to define anything that you have. Again, these are pretty much the same as the Wetlands Protection Act, except for the addition of the no disturb zone, because that's something that's being added. Security is the legal way of getting this kind of stuff done. Enforcement is, I mean, we already work off enforcements, but the enforcement aspect of this would give us the ability to fine, which is something that we've lacked. And the Chapter 4021D allows for serious violations that you could fine per $300 per day per violation. But really, we could set our own limits. So if someone was working outside of an order of conditions, you know, maybe the first is $100 or something, and we go from there. You look like you're reading something.
The vernal pools. I guess we already have the ability to, if there's a potential vernal pool, then we already have the ability to condition that it be certified.
Mm-hmm. And then when you get to the end, the notes section of this, again, this is the model bylaw, so MACC is basically saying like, hey, these are things that you'll want to consider. So anything I highlighted in green was something that I found to be in line with what we had to do. And then the two things I left highlighted in blue were things that we could consider that I felt the board should make a decision on, not.
Oh, okay, I didn't get that far.
So a bylaw would have to be reviewed by once approved
So
by the town, it would have to be reviewed by the,
So we'll bring it to the town as
and we have to have a public hearing.
Yep, so we'll have to have a public hearing where we actually
Explain.
adopt this,
Yeah.
right? So we'll have a public hearing, we'll take a vote, and then we'll bring it to town meeting. And then the town will get their chance to vote on it. If the town approves it, then it gets sent to the Attorney General. They have 90 days to comment on it. If they need more time, they can request an extension. It's more them telling us they want an extension. It's not really a request, but they can extend the time frame. And then after it's been accepted,
What if there are provisions in it that don't?
So if they disagree with, let's say we put something crazy in there that interfered with a state law,
Yeah.
they would send us a letter saying, we generally agree with your bylaw except for this section.
So if in us doing revisions, would we have to go back out? Would we have to
No.
re-vote on it?
No.
Go back out to public hearing?
No, we
Okay.
would be able to move forward with the Attorney General's revisions.
Okay.
And then once we get revised or not revised comments from the AG, you post it in the newspaper again to say that it's officially being adopted by the town, and we make decisions on it based on
Okay.
that.
Actually, I think if this was just a lighter green and a lighter blue, we'd still get the idea, but we'd be able to see it without
A little bigger.
A little bit.
having to,
Yeah, I think if you download it on your computer,
yep.
you can get rid of the track changes and you can highlight it in not a color. But I can send
You did send it to us, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah. And we didn't have it for the last meeting, that's why.
Yeah.
So do you need a motion to continue this?
I think we should continue at every meeting. If we're thinking about this for the fall town meeting, we need to keep looking at it and keep, you
Yep.
know.
It doesn't need a motion though. It's,
Okay.
It'd
I'll
just
just
be
keep,
a-
I'll just keep putting it on the
Put it
agenda.
on the agenda.
yeah.
Actually, I think I already asked you to do that. Continue to put it on the agenda.
Yeah. And,
Okay, so,
I don't know the time frame for Lakeville's town meetings as far as when the warrant opens and closes and
I'll
everything,
keep track
but
of that.
it's usually, I would say, 2 months before
Right.
town meeting.
Right. So
So,
let's get through our annual town meeting of just June 10th. We need to get through that
Right.
first.
Do you need signatures?
I do, but I have one last thing.
Oh, okay.
Under other business, I did talk to, our former member today who will not be coming back. And so I would like to entertain a motion that we would ask the Board of Selectmen to appoint Brian Anderson as a full member
So
rather than
moved.
associate.
second.
And where is Brian today?
He, texted me, he had double booked, he and his wife be out for the same time, and, so he emailed me, I guess, email or text, I don't know, but that he wouldn't be able to come tonight, so. Excused absence. So, motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, yes, we have signatures, motion to adjourn,
So moved.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.